Members prayers. Almighty God, we humbly beseech thee to look with favor upon this Parliament of the Republic of Ghana. Grant that it may perform its high duty as in thy sight. Give divine guidance to the President of the Republic. Thou members of Parliament and ministers of state with discernment and vision, integrity and courage, that through the labors of government, this land and people may be well and truly served. The good purposes for the common human life be realized in our midst. O God, grant us the vision of our country, fair as it might be, country of righteousness, where none shall wrong his neighbor, country of plenty, where evil and poverty shall be done away with, country of brotherhood, where all success shall be founded on service, and honor shall be given to the deserving. Country of peace, where government shall rest on the will of the people and the love for the common good. Bless the effort of those who struggle to make this vision a living reality. Inspire and strengthen our people that they may give time, thought, and sacrifice to speed the day of the coming beauty of Ghana and Africa. Amen. Honourable members, it's time to consider the votes and proceedings for Thursday, 22nd June 2023. Page 1. Page 2. Page 3. Page 4. Page 5, page 6, page 7, page 8, page 9, page 10, page 11. Yes. Honorable Deputy Leader.
Mr. Speaker, sorry to take you back to page 10. On page 10, the directive from the Chair. The Right Honorable Speaker directed the Business Committee to schedule the Honorable Ministers responsible for Western Housing and Finance to apprise the House on measures being taken to address the situation, latest by end of next week. So by end of next week, the timeline that was given should have been there.
Yes.
Speaker, I don't intend to raise the temperature this morning. That wasn't the directive. Indeed, the Speaker had said that the two ministers, the Western Housing and then the Finance Minister, but the Speaker has said that the Business Committee should program them as soon as possible. He did not say the end of next week. And so my good friend, this will be here. I recollect that was the directive of the Speaker. And if my colleague is still in doubt,
honourable members,
you can check the records.
The Answer Department would have the record. Let them be guided by the record, so there's no controversy here. Yes.
Mr. Speaker, he even went by saying that even if the Minister for Finance is not there because he has traveled, the other Minister of State, who is the Minister of Finance, can come. Yeah, that's what he said.
Yes.
Mr. Speaker, thank you very much. I was right here. What he said was that he is aware that the Finance Minister was out of the country. But if the need arises for the deputies to come in and address the House, so be it. He did not give a timeline. He said the Business Committee should meet. No. should meet. I'm addressing the speaker. He says the business committee should meet and get the two ministers here. So I'm sure you are waiting for the business committee to program the two men address the House. Thank you.
Honourable members, there's no need to generate controversy here. This is a record of Parliament. There's a department which is responsible for keeping the verbatim report. And so I direct the ANZA department to verify the exact directive Mr. Speaker gave and to amend the minutes accordingly. I so direct. Page 11. Page 12. Page 13. Page 14. Page 15. Page 16. Page 17. Page 18. Yes. Honourable Member for Kwadaso.
Honourable Speaker, on page 18, Roman numeral VIII, Dr. Ahmed Rufai Ibrahim designation, Metropolitan Coordinating Director, Accra, Metropolitan Municipal Assembly. It is Accra Metropolitan Assembly. So let's cancel the municipal. Thank you.
Very well. The table of office will effect the correction. Page 19. Page 20. Yes, Honourable Chief Whip.
Right, Honourable Speaker, Roman figure XXI, acting municipal coordinating. I think the coordinating needed to be corrected. Coordinating director. The spelling of coordinating.
Coordinating.
On XXI.
What is there a correction there?
Yes,
I can't see any.
all of them. The way they is CWRDINATING, but that one alone. I think it's a little correction to be done on that one.
Really? Very well. We'll leave that to the table office. The correction. Yes, Majority Chief Whip.
Speaker, let me apologize. I didn't catch your attention. I need to, if we may go back to page 7, Speaker, with the greatest of apologies. Page 7, item 4. I checked and I realized that my deputy leader, the Honorable Afenyo Makin, is captured as absent. Speaker, he did submit leave of absence. I followed up and got it confirmed that he was actually granted. So he should rather be captured under members absent with permission. That's number 6 on page 7. And then on number 8, the Honorable Idris Habib Tolon, my deputy whip, was actually present yesterday. He's been captured under members absent. Then number 42 on page 8, the Honorable Intim Augustine Collins Intim is also being captured as absent. His leave of absence was also approved of. And finally, the Honorable Asla Ekufo, number 49, her leave of absence was also approved of. I confirm all of that. I thank you, Speaker.
Very well. The table office will effect the corrections. I am aware that the leave of absence were brought to me and I granted them leave to be absent. Yes.
Speaker, with your indulgence, the minority leader was also here yesterday. Honorable Atufosun was here yesterday.
The table of this will effect the correction. I myself was in the presence of Parliament, but I've marked absent. I'll deal with that subsequently. Page 22. Page 23. Page 24. Page 25. Yes, Honorable Member for Kwadaso.
Honorable Speaker, on page 25, under Public Accounts Committee opening, the committee met on Tuesday, 18th May. If you go to page 17, under the same Public Accounts Committee, under opening, the committee met on Tuesday, 16th May. Tuesday, 16th May, on page 17, the same committee, and on page 25, Tuesday is 18th May. So we need to, if it were Thursday, then Thursday was 18th of May. So if we can check and reconcile the two dates. Thank you.
Very well. One Tuesday cannot be at both 16th and 18th unless they are reporting two events. The table office will check and effect the appropriate correction. Page 26, 27, page 28, 29, 30, page 31, page 32, page 33, page 34, page 35, page 36. Yes.
Honorable Speaker, on page 36 under opening, the committee met on Thursday, 15 June 2023 at 10:30 a.m. and embarked on an inspection tour of ongoing housing projects. It is captured here, housing project, but it should be plural. So we should add S to the project. Thank you.
Very well. The table office should take note and effect the correction. Page 37. Page 38. Page 39. Page 40. 41. Page 42. Page 40. Yes.
Honorable Speaker, on page 42, under opening, the last sentence has my chairman's name wrongly spelled. Kwabena Amankwa Esiama. There's an omission of the letter N. AMANKW. Thank you.
Very well. The table office will effect the correction. Page 43. Page 44. Yes. Honorable Member for Kwadaso.
Honorable Speaker, on page 44, XXIII, Mr. Saka Sayufi is Saka Sayuti. He used to be my deputy when I was at NAB. So Mr. Saka Sayuti, not Sayufi. Thank you.
Very well. The table office should effect the appropriate correction. Page 45. Page 46. Page 47. Page 48. Honorable members, subject to the corrections effected, the votes and proceedings of Thursday, June 22nd, 2023 is hereby adopted as a true record of proceedings. Honourable members, there's an official report. We have the official report of Friday, February 24th, 2023. Friday, February 24th, 2023. Any corrections? In the absence of any corrections, the official report of Friday, February 24, 2023 is hereby adopted as a true record of proceedings. Honourable members, as is a new practice we have introduced, we acknowledge and recognize delegations that are visiting us today. This morning we have students or pupils from Happy Days Academy. Happy Days Academy. They are led by Mrs. Pamela Osansa, Mrs. Franklina Aye, and they are from the Odododio constituency. Is there no member in the house? No. There's also a delegation from the Infantspeum School. They are led by Mr. Joseph William Duncan from Cape Coast. We also have the Happy Days Academy. Are you here? Can you be on your feet so we acknowledge you? You're welcome to Parliament. Please sit. Infantspeum School, are you here? Infantspeum School, yes. All right. So, you're welcome to Parliament. You may now resume your seat. There's also the Church of Pentecost Frami District, led by Pastor Richard Ekodonko. Welcome to Parliament of Ghana. Now, finally, we have the Fruitful Land Academy, led by Mr. Isaac Kosa from Gomoa East. Very well. You're welcome to Parliament. Honourable members, item 5, business statement. Yes, Honourable.
Speaker, may I seek your leave to present the business statement on behalf of the chair of the business committee?
Yes, Honourable Deputy Leader. Yes, Chief Whip.
Mr. Speaker, we don't have any objection, but you should have added that his leaders are Asinov. That is why they are not here, but it's okay for him to present.
Who is that Asinov?
The chairman of the committee and his deputy.
I think that's enough.
Did he ask me for you? Yes.
Speaker, what I can confirm is that the leader of government business and the chair of the business committee is out of the jurisdiction. However, I'm very sure of the presence of the minority leader at Asinov. That, having said that, Speaker, I will go ahead and present the business statement, and I will invite Hansa to do the needful by capturing it in its entirety, where I limit myself to just some portions. Speaker, the committee met on Thursday, 22nd June 2023, and arranged business of the House for the 4th week ending Friday, 30th June, accordingly. So in all, the committee has programmed 5 sector ministers to appear before the House next week to answer a total of 35 questions, out of which we have 4 questions slated for the Youth and Sports, 2 to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, 8 for the Ministry of Food and Agriculture, 9 for the Ministry of Energy, and 12 questions slated for the Ministry of Roads and Highways. We got out of these, one of them is programmed as an agent question, and the difference of 34 is a normal oral question. The Speaker, in accordance with Order 72, may admit statements, papers and reports may be laid, motions may be taken, and their consequential resolutions also adopted. Speaker, these bills have been programmed to be taken and as captured by the report. Wednesday, 28th of June is programmed as a statutory public holiday throughout the country, and members should observe as such. Speaker, I also present the President's statement. Thank you.
Our members, any comments? Yes.
Honorable Speaker, I would like to find out why the Minister for Education, we had some questions, that was 2 weeks ago, has not been captured for next week.
Any further comments or inquiries? Yes, Honorable Chief Whip.
Speaker, my colleague's concern about questions directed to the Education Ministry is, I guess my colleague knows that admissibility is in the bosom of the Speaker. So it is when the Speaker admits these questions that same is transmitted to the table office for it to be programmed by the Business Committee. So probably I will advise that you should follow up through the Chief Whip, the very hard-working Chief Whip office. I'm sure they'll be able to facilitate to know the stage with which your question is. Then only can we confirm what the status are. Speaker, thank you.
Honorable, I'm advised that, or if I understood him, he says the Business Committee had actually scheduled that question earlier, but something happened and the questions were not answered. So I think it is for the Business Committee to reschedule.
Speaker, bear with me. I didn't get that understanding. If it is the case, then we'll relate to the table office and also the Business Committee to ensure we reschedule duly. And apologies for the mishap. Thank you.
Any more? Yes, Deputy.
Mr. Speaker, earlier on I raised the question relating to the directives from the chair, which was disputed, and you sent for a check to the Hansa department for confirmation. In fact, they brought the confirmation to the government chief whip, saying that what I said, I was right and he was wrong. Based on that, Mr. Speaker, before the adoption of the report, because Business Committee will not sit before end of next week, meanwhile the directive was emphatic that looking at the importance and urgency of the matter, we must program the 2 ministers to appear before us before end of next week, which will be Friday. Wednesday will be a holiday. So I don't know whether before the adoption of the report, we can consider programming the 2 ministers to appear before us on Thursday or Friday, because Tuesday is the only working day before the statutory holiday, which will be Wednesday. So if we may seek your indulgence for the two to appear before us by the latter part of the week, so that they will have ample time to prepare. Because the directive came as a result of many people losing their lives, at least 3 in Accra and 3 in Kumasi. That's why the Speaker gave that urgent directive that the Committee on Works and Housing must do something. However, the two ministers must appear before us, apprise the House on what measures they are being taken to combat it. So if Wednesday, Thursday or Friday, any of them, whichever of them that will be conducive for the two ministers to appear before us.
Yes.
Speaker, indeed, my colleague is right that that was the directive. So no, we don't need to litigate on this matter further. You are right. On the adoption of the report and the concerns about confirmation of when the two ministers can appear before the House, I will say that we can adopt the report subject to the necessary amendment. However, I will liaise with the leader of the government business, for us to reach out necessarily to ensure that we can have the two ministers in the House, preferably Thursday, because you and I know Friday, it's not often a convenient time, and we've dedicated Friday to the Minister of Rules to come and answer a lot of the backlog of questions. So we should be working towards Thursday. And prefer yourself, you're a member of the business committee, and so we will be talking in whispers and do the needful to ensure we get the two ministers to come upon the House. But Speaker, if I may, we also made a point, which the Speaker agreed with us, that in accordance with our orders, Order 1922, which says that committees should not necessarily be given referrals before they undertake what they are supposed to do. Speaker, if you may indulge me, no instruction shall be given to a committee to do that which is already empowered to do or to deal with. We, Speaker, encourage the Committee on Works and Housing should also visit these places and be armed with the reality on the grounds, so that even whilst we wait for the two ministers to come and apprise us, we as a House will also have some good information on what the reality is on the ground. Therefore, it's also a matter that is important, and we expect the leadership, both the ranking and the chair, to heed to this council, this good council, and be seen to be working. I don't know if this answers my good friend's concern. Speaker, thank you.
Very well. So you would find room inviting the ministers to appear next week, certainly. Further, I have been directed by the Speaker to bring to the attention of the Business Committee two matters. One, the Standing Orders Committee's report should be programmed for Thursday. So please take note and have it programmed for Thursday. Two, the Proper Human Sexuality and Ghanaian Family Values Bill be programmed for Tuesday or Thursday. Whatever it is, it must be on the other paper next week. Either Tuesday, the motion for second reading of that bill should be programmed for Tuesday or Thursday. These are the directives of Mr. Speaker.
Speaker, we will do as directed. I thank you.
Very well. Yes.
Mr. Speaker, I think this is a very sensitive matter, and a number of civil society organizations and political watchers, and as well as constitutional watchers, have interest in it, and they'll be watching this house. You've given either Tuesday or Thursday. Tuesday, we know, will be the Asin-North by-election. And we know a number of MPs, maybe your good self, Mr. Speaker, may be there. And we need to do a very comprehensive debate, well-researched debate on it, sensing that and foreseeing that the numbers may not be able to be organized on Tuesday. Mr. Speaker, if we can be specific that that motion be taken on Thursday, which we know that our brothers who will go for the Eid al-Adha on Wednesday will be here, and those who go for the Asin-North by-election on Tuesday will be here, so that the House will be properly constituted to take that historical debate. Mr. Speaker.
Wait, are you on a point of order?
My good friend is making a valid observation and a valid point, except that he should depart from the path of drawing the speaker into it. Why do you say that the speaker will be going to Asin-North? Do you know that first, the reality? Stay clear from that and make your point. Speaker, I shouldn't enroll you into his tactics.
Thank you. He was actually out of order, but I was ignoring him. Yes, now make your point about the appropriate date.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. So, Mr. Speaker, I just want to be specific that if we can be emphatic for all those in that debate in the form of watching proceedings in Parliament, either from the gallery or from their homes or the media, everybody should be prepared that that debate will take place on Thursday, so that people don't come on Tuesday and to not be taken and say, Parliament, they said Tuesday, they haven't taken it. So let's firm Thursday for that important debate.
Yes.
Yeah, maybe my colleague did not, with respect to him, maybe he didn't listen to you well. The First Deputy has said that it's a directive from the Speaker. Yes, it's a directive from the Speaker, and it's given 2 days. Asin-North is a national exercise. Parliament of Ghana is also a national exercise. So, if you are interested, you need to prioritize, so that we don't need to gravitate unnecessarily and be oscillating between the two. If it's Thursday, let's stick to Thursday. Anybody who is interested in this debate must show up. You cannot prioritize Asin-North over Parliament and expect us that the Parliament will wait for you. So I disagree with my colleague. He should abandon his submission with respect. Both are national exercise, so choose one. You can't have the two. But he wants to have the two. Therefore, we should stick to the Tuesday.
Well, as I explained, if Tuesday is not okay, Thursday, but either Tuesday or Thursday, those two subjects must be on the other paper. Doesn't mean that we'll necessarily conclude work on them, but once they appear on the other paper, we are sure that work can be done in respect of them. So I've actually been advised that the chairman and ranking member of the Constitutional Legal Committee are actually out of the jurisdiction now. So hopefully, may appear they all return to the jurisdiction before any of these 2 days. But the business committee, both of you are members of the business committee, aren't you? Good. So I suggest that you take your agreements and disagreements to the committee. Yes, any further comment on the business statement? Very well. Honourable members, subject to the proposed inclusion of certain bills and questions, the business statement is hereby adopted. Yes, Honourable Chief Whip.
Speaker, with respect, at the commencement of public business, may we now turn to page 4. Page 4 of today's order paper, and take item 14. Page 4, item 14. Speaker, I will further seek your leave for the substantive motion to be taken by the Deputy Minister of Trade. It's your leave.
Yes, Honorable Chief Whip.
Mr. Speaker, we just passed the Minister for Trade and Industry here. This is his first bill. If you want to ask the leave of this House for the Deputy Minister for Trade and Industry to do the job of the Minister for Trade and Industry, the substantive one, you must tell us the whereabouts of the Minister for Trade and Industry and the reason why you are seeking Mr. Speaker's leave for the Deputy to do that work on his behalf.
Hold on, though. Can I be guided by the Honorable Deputy Whip on which of our study orders are you anchoring suggestion that I must show where the Minister is?
Mr. Speaker, Order 75 is clear about procedure or manner or mode of laying of papers. And Mr. Speaker, papers may be laid by members or ministers in this House. There is nowhere that a Deputy Minister is even mentioned. So based on that, the Deputy Minister is incapacitated in this House to lay that paper, Mr. Speaker, and I so submit.
So our colleague should read the order he quoted, if he may read the order again. It's actually not 75, it's 74. A paper may be presented to the House only by Mr. Speaker, the chairman of a committee, a member, or a minister. And our colleague is a member. He is a member, is a proud member of New Jabin North, New Jabin South. So besides the point, it's an established convention. And if you want to know the reason, sit down.
Honorable Chief Whip, you have the floor.
Speaker, the Honorable Minister, who is a very regular member of this House, is out of jurisdiction on official duty in London. That's what I know. He's on official duty out of the jurisdiction, and he personally called me. So colleagues, let's not drag this matter overly. He's one of us, and he's often in the chamber. So please, I want to appeal to you. Please, abandon your opposition. Yes, abandon it, and let's make progress.
Yes, Honorable.
Mr. Speaker, the government chief whip knows that he came to meet me in this, and therefore, when it comes to interpretation of the standing orders, Mr. Speaker, I'm well equipped. Remember, I didn't open the orders, but I just quoted example. The orders are here. Mr. Speaker, I cannot be wrong. Mr. Speaker, I cannot be wrong. Mode or manner of presentation of papers is order 75 and not 74. But the specific paper that may be laid is what he's talking about, 74. But when it comes to how to implement or how to execute it, is order 75. And I'm saying that even the 74 that you yourself quoted, show me where it is written a Deputy Minister. Show me. It is not there. And you don't talk of conventions here. Speaker asked me which standing order. And I quoted the standing order. So if in the standing orders, it is not written that a Deputy Minister can lay a paper, it means he is incapacitated. Vice Speaker has asked me what's the convention. The practice in this House is that Deputy Ministers have been laying papers. But Speaker asked me which order. And I came by order 75, which is the mode or the manner or how it is done. And lawyer Abachia is here to even confirm what I'm saying. Mr. Speaker, I know that we should not litigate this. I was just interested in the whereabouts of the minister, but since the minister had that respect for this House and called the government chief whip and told him or seek his leave that he is inevitably absent in this House, Mr. Speaker. Based on that, I so submit, and I want to give up on my rendition and allow the Deputy Minister for Trade and Industry to do that job on behalf of the Honorable Substantive Cabinet Minister for Trade and Industry, Honorable Kobna Kiti Hamon. I so do.
Yes, Honorable.
Honorable Speaker, I agree with my colleague. Yes, we agree that we'll take this paper. But the Chief Whip must know that this is a house of record. He said, and I listened to him saying that our colleague, the Minister for Trade, is a regular member in the House. Yes. That is a bit problematic because he is not as regular in the House as we can see. He comes sometimes. And then I'm told that even at the committee, he didn't even appear. It was the deputy. So it is a real concern. If you are a cabinet minister, Mr. Speaker, see, we all knew how he struggled to be confirmed. And if after being confirmed, the first bill you brought to the House, you yourself will not be available to supervise that bill, then there's a real reason to see whether you actually wanted a job the way you were desperate for it when you were going through the confirmation process. I mean, all that said, Mr. Speaker, our colleague is a member of the House, and we accord him that respect. He can lay the paper on this, but if he becomes regular, then maybe he should be thinking of being the substantive minister so that he'll be regular here taking the bills, Mr. Speaker.
I wasn't expecting or expected to generate a debate on whether or not. I was surprised that I was surprised that we're making issue out of a deputy minister moving a motion, not presenting a paper. So the standing orders you are referring to is about laying papers. It's not about moving a motion, because I'm not aware of any order which prevents or which requires that when a deputy is standing in for his minister, the person making the application must give reasons. It is our practice that we ask. You say he's not up, why is he? But it is not anchored in any of our rules, and I wanted that to be emphasized. It is our practice. And sometimes we do that against non-members of parliament who don't like appearing before us. But when a minister is a member of ours and the deputy is a member, as in this case, it is our practice that we overlook. And because if a member is absent, the rules will deal with him. So we should avoid making these an issue. Very well. So, yes, Honorable Senior Member. Honorable Member for Dotobri, let me hear you before. Honorable Deputy Minister, kindly wait. Yes, Honorable Member for Dotobri.
Mr. Speaker, thank you for the opportunity. Mr. Speaker, my honorable colleague, Honorable Abuja, the Chief Whip for the minority, he said something about Honorable Katie Hammond, which I believe it should not be part of today's proceedings. Honorable Katie Hammond is a regular member of this August House. It is on record. Honorable Katie Hammond attends committee meetings. He was a member of, and he's even currently the member Mines and Energy Committee. He was attending meetings. Unfortunately, the statement that has been made by my colleague is not fair. The Honorable is not here. So I will plead with him. He is a senior member of the House, so he should not stay as part of our records. Thank you.
Unfortunately, I may not have been paying attention. What specifically are you complaining about?
He said he is not a regular member of the House. He has not been seeing him coming and attending upon Parliament. And he's also not attending committee meetings. It is a very unfair statement. And Mr. Speaker, Honorable Katie Hammond is a regular member of this Honorable House. And he should not be part of this, the records of this August House.
I thought those were comments on the lighter side, so let the record reflect that Honorable Katie Hammond is a regular, senior, and serious member of this House. Yes, Honorable Deputy Minister, you may.
Right, Honorable Speaker, I rise to move the procedural motion, item number 14 on page 4, of the paper of Friday, 23rd of June 2023. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, any seconder. Yes. Honorable Member for Boy.
Okay.
Out of your Mr. Speaker, I second the motion.
Now, members, this is a procedural motion. So I'll put a question. All in favor of the House adopting motion number 14 on page 4 of today's order paper, say aye. Aye. All against, say no. The ayes have it. The motion is adopted. Item 15. Honorable Deputy Minister.
Right, Honorable Speaker, I rise to move that the Ghana National Accreditation Service Bill 2023 be now read a second time. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Yes.
Speaker, I will seek your leave to second the motion and also present the committee's report.
Yes, proceed.
Mr. Speaker, we don't have any objection to that. We want to make progress, so it's okay. We don't have any. He wants to take the report himself, and I said we don't have any problem with that. He can do that.
Yes, please proceed.
So we are right to second the motion moved by the Deputy Minister, and in so doing present the committee's report. Let Hansard capture the entirety of it. Speaker, introduction. The Ghana Accreditation Service Bill 2023 was presented and read the first time in the House on Tuesday, 6 June 2023 by the Minister responsible for Trade and Industry, the Honorable Kobina Tahir Mohammed Hamwad, in accordance with Article 106(1) of the 1992 Constitution, pursuant to Order 159 of the Standing Orders of Parliament. The Right Honourable Speaker, on the request of the Minister for the bill to be taken under the Certificate of Agency, referred the bill to the Select Committee on Trade, Industry and Tourism and leadership of the Committee on Constitutional, Legal and Parliamentary Affairs to determine the agency or otherwise of the bill and report to the House. Agency of the bill. The committee subsequently determined and certified that the bill is of an urgent nature and may therefore be taken through all the stages of passage in one day in accordance with Order 106(13) of the 1992 Constitution and Order 119 of the Standing Orders of the House. Background. The need to establish an accreditation body was initially prescribed in the Trade Policy 2005 to 2009 and the Industrial Policy 2011 to 2015. Subsequently, the Ghana National Accreditation Service was established by the Ministry of Trade and Industry as a company limited by guarantee under the then Companies Act 1963, Act 179, and became operational in September 2018. Speaker, the committee recommendations and conclusion. The committee accordingly recommends to the House to adopt this report and pass the Ghana Accreditation Service Bill 2023 into law in accordance with Article 106(13) of the 1992 Constitution and Order 119 of the Standing Orders of Parliament, subject to the attached proposed amendment. I so present. I thank you, Speaker.
Honourable members, this is the point at which we debate the principles of the bill. The floor is now opened. Yes, Honourable Ranking Member.
Mr. Speaker, I'm the Deputy Ranking Member. Mr. Speaker, I rise to support the motion numbered 15 on today's order paper. Mr. Speaker, your good sir referred this bill to us to determine whether or not it should be taken under Certificate of Agency. We reported to the House and recommended that there was a need for us to take it under Certificate of Agency. Your committee now went back to deliberate on the contents of the bill. Mr. Speaker, as part of Ghana's trade policy, we will require a national quality infrastructure. And as part of the national quality infrastructure, we will need Ghana Accreditation Service as one of the pillars. And so, when we met, we brought on board a lot of stakeholders, and we all agreed that there was a need for us to pass this bill into an act. Mr. Speaker, at the meeting, HEFRA, which is under Ministry of Health, raised a few concerns, and that they wanted some articles, some clauses in the bill to be expunged. We had a serious deliberation. At the end of the day, they agreed that they were going to limit their activities to what exactly they are mandated to do, and to leave monitoring to Ghana Accreditation Service when established. Mr. Speaker, another stakeholder that raised concerns and brought a petition is Ghana Standards Authority. Ghana Standards Authority was there, and they presented a petition and explained why they think that certain aspects of the bill be expunged or shouldn't be considered. Mr. Speaker, upon a thorough deliberation, they also agreed that that aspect is supposed to be under the Accreditation Service Institute or organization. And so they agreed that we should go on with the bill as it stands. Mr. Speaker, Ghana Accreditation Service bill to be passed into an act to give legitimacy to Ghana Accreditation Service Ghana has some benefits, and it's important that we enumerate some of them. Mr. Speaker, most organizations that require some kind of attestation and confirmation will have to travel outside this country for accreditation. And what happens is that they have to pay huge sums of foreign currency. What it means is that we are transferring foreign currency to other countries. Establishing this organization here will mean that this organization, these facilities, will not go out of this country for accreditation. And so we will end up saving some foreign exchange. Mr. Speaker, it is also important to realize that in today's global village, where there is a need for us to intertrade, you cannot do that if you don't have your goods and services accredited. And so most of our commodities in this country are not accredited, and it becomes difficult for you to be competitive, it becomes difficult for you to sell outside the boundaries of this country. So when we establish this organization, we will be able to accredit most of our institutions that provide goods and services within and outside to be very competitive. And so we thought that there's a need for us to have this institution established. Again, today we are talking about the African Continental Free Trade Area. We will be able to make maximum use of it if our institutions are accredited so that they can produce goods and services that will meet standards within and outside this country. Mr. Speaker, it is also important to mention the importance of public health when it comes to accreditation. Most of our laboratories and other institutions need to be accredited so that when they give our results, we can't have confidence in those results, especially when our health are concerned. And so this institution is also going to address that issue. So, Mr. Speaker, upon these deliberations, the committee recommended that there was a need for us to pass this bill into an act and to do it in a very quick manner, because the World Bank is supposed to give us some support, and they want us to pass this bill before the end of this month. If we are not able to pass it before the end of this month, that support will not be given to us. On this note, Mr. Speaker, I call on the House to adopt this report and to pass this bill into an act. I thank you so much.
Yes, no member for Padas.
Mr. Speaker, I'm grateful for the opportunity to contribute to the motion and the discussion. Mr. Speaker, since I've worked within the sector of accreditation and quality assurance before, I see this bill as very crucial and very important if we want to advance the cause of the country in terms of our trade volumes, the quality, and all that. Mr. Speaker, going through the report, I saw that most of these institutions, trade institutions, normally pay about $120,000 to foreigners for accreditation. It is huge. But if we are able to pass this bill and have the Ghana Accreditation Service, then we are more likely to obtain accreditation for our institutions at half the price, $50,000. That's very, for me, that's very important. We live in a global environment where competition has become so fierce, and foreign countries will always depend on the assurances of quality of products that are exported to them. So I'm happy that this is happening, because then it makes competition very competitive. It gives assurance to potential buyers of our produce that our produce are of a certain high quality. And that will also help us to get increased volumes of our exports with its consequential positive effects of increased foreign exchange. And that will help us to deal with our balance of payment issues and all that. So, I thank you for the opportunity, and I will plead with the House to adopt and pass this bill to the benefits of this nation, especially within the trade environment. Thank you for the opportunity, Honorable Speaker.
Yes, Honorable.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise to lend my support to the adoption of this bill. Mr. Speaker, in doing that, I also want to draw the attention of the House that having the legal framework in place alone has never been enough. This country has never lacked appropriate laws. The challenge has been the policy environment and the will to implement whatever the law says how to do. And therefore, Mr. Speaker, in contributing to this, the adoption of this bill, I will want a clear commitment from the Ghanaian state, represented here by the Ministry of Trade, that this should not just be another piece of legislation, as a colleague of mine said, to conform to the demand of a third party. I heard the World Bank has some facility. If we don't pass this by the end of the month, that facility will lapse. I don't want to see us doing things because there is some money to support this, but I want to see us taking this far more seriously, the need for this country to particularly increase exports cannot be debated. It is so paramount, it's imperative that we establish an export-driven economy if we are to create the necessary jobs for the teeming number of youth coming, especially out of our tertiary and pseudo-tertiary institutions. And therefore, while supporting this, Mr. Speaker, I will want us to, when we come to the details, to look at a word that empowers and that also puts an obligation on the Ghanaian state to ensure that this does not remain a paper tiger. I thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity.
I'm laughing because no matter what word you use to write the bill or the law, the desire to do it is in the person implementing it. And unless you are willing and ready, any word you use will make any difference. Yes, Honorable Member for.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, my interest really is about the economic transformation that this document seeks to achieve. I think that it's about time that we have agencies that work as we have in other countries to promote and facilitate the work that people in the business sector do. Particularly point 8.3, which talks about the economic transformation, is of interest to me, and also the financial stability that this seeks to achieve. However, Mr. Speaker, I see that I miss my chairman and any member on the other side of the House from the committee in this room. And we, as a committee, were mandated to take a look at this because it came under some urgency. It is unfortunate that I do not see my chairman in the room. But looking at what the work that we have done in the past 3 days, I think that I want to commend all of us who participated in the discussion and to urge that this House takes a serious look at it. I thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity.
Honourable members, I think leadership may wish to comment now. Is it? Oh, yes. Honourable member for Manson Kwanta.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for this opportunity to make some few contributions to this important bill. Mr. Speaker, we are moving into a world of technology. And today, people are talking about AI, artificial intelligence. And you look at the advanced world, they are taking the lead in terms of how best they are coming up with regulations to ensure that this new technology will not be taking them by surprise. What are we doing as a country in our part of the world? It is time we also take note of this all-important bill to ensure that we incorporate into the bill in advance and ahead of time, incorporating some of these new developments so that we don't allow our society to be overburdened and overtaken by events. Mr. Speaker, when you look at the implications of this bill and you look at the implications that we are going to see from this new development, we shall have some social implications, health implications, education implications, economic implications, whereby you look at the health implication, technology is going to come out with a lot of side effects and other things that can impair the development of our health system. So we need to take steps, as the bill is trying to seek, to ensure that we incorporate all the necessary steps to ensure we protect our people from such development that will be negative on us. To conclude, Mr. Speaker, I also want to say that this new development in technology and other things have certain financial implications. If we allow ourselves without having in place accreditation to ensure that our fair share in terms of the implication economically on us are taken care of, we may end up being on the losing side because the effects of some technologies, the cost involved is shifted on us without taking steps to make sure that we also get the right benefit from it to fight some of the negatives. So, Mr. Speaker, in support of this bill, I'm also encouraging members of the committee and the House to ensure that we incorporate into this bill all steps that to ensure that we have our value for money, so that in future we don't ridicule ourselves into such negatives of modern technology. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for this opportunity to contribute to this bill.
Leadership. Yes.
Right, Honorable Speaker, I thank you for the opportunity to make few comments about the report as presented by the Majority Chief Whip. Mr. Speaker, my first comment is about the fact that when this bill was read for the first time, Mr. Speaker, we were told, in fact, that day there was even a debate as to whether it should be taken under certificate of urgency. So it's surprising that whilst we made the debate and agreed that this was supposed to be taken under a certificate of urgency, it took all these days for us to come back and deal with it. So I think the committee and the ministry should take this seriously. Mr. Speaker, my second point is about the highlight of the fact that one of the reasons we are doing this is because of donor support. Mr. Speaker, we are trying to pass a law which may outlive you and I. So what is the essence of $5 million which is pushing us? $5 million is nothing. So we shouldn't be passing laws because somebody is going to lose, the country is going to lose $5 million. If we are passing a law because we believe we need to do this, let's say so. But to say that World Bank is offering us $5 million, so we should do it, I don't think that is appropriate, and we shouldn't even be putting things like this in a report, because it's as if without $5 million we can't do our own law. Mr. Speaker, I don't feel comfortable about that, so I don't think we are making the law because we are about to get $5 million. Mr. Speaker, at paragraph 8.5, it talks about the health and safety issues. Mr. Speaker, indeed, you and I have found or encountered products in this country, either locally or imported, and we question the quality or the standards by which these things were produced and are in use. And so, hopefully, this entity, if established, may be able to deal with this. We are told the financial sustainability analysis have been done, and this entity may sustain itself beyond the donor support. But, Mr. Speaker, there's a concern raised by stakeholders. If you go to paragraph 8.1, we are told that the Ghana Standards Authority and others raise concern about duplication of service. In any case, the Ghana Standard Authority, GSA, this new one is going to be GAS. So the question is, which one comes first? I think the ministry will have to do a good job by clearly stating in an organogram or something as to which one comes first, or the role of one be separated from the other. Otherwise, as they have already stated here, it appears Ghana Standards Authority is feeling that part of their mandate is what is going to be taken by this. So it will be important when we come to the consideration stage that we clearly state this and separate it appropriately. Mr. Speaker, we are told this bill is about 60 clauses in this bill. So it is not that much, but the question is, when can we get this done? Mr. Speaker, another point raised was that it costs about $120,000 to get accreditation from abroad. And it is proposed that if we do this by ourselves, it will cost $50,000. Once again, I'm not sure how they arrive at this. If it costs $120,000 to get an accreditation for a product in London, how did you work it out that it will cost $50,000 here? Does it even need to cost $50,000 here? So I'm not sure if these figures are based on any fact or they are just arbitrary figures put here. Once again, we are told at paragraph 8.3, economic transformation, and a lot of nice English language written and quoting where things have been turned around because of this. Mr. Speaker, this law, if passed, will not automatically transform our country. I accept that if we all agree that if you need accreditation, you need to get approval to have a product, unless we follow it, Mr. Speaker, that is the only thing that will transform, bring the transformation. But if we pass this law, Just the way we all have traffic lights, and somebody gets to the traffic light, decide to go through because there's nobody there, the policeman is not standing there. That will not automatically reduce carnage on our road. The same way, if we pass this law and we don't enforce it, it may not lead to this economic transformation we are talking about. But Mr. Speaker, with this, I feel the bulk of the work will be how the ministry structure the body of the law to separate the functions of Ghana Standard Authority, GSA, with this new body, GAS, to make sure that they all perform their functions effectively and improve the standards of products and services that we have in this country. That will be a plus, and then this House will be proud if that happens. Mr. Speaker, with these few words, I lend my support to this report and urge colleagues to support as well. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity.
Does the Minister wish to conclude?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I think there are a few issues that I wanted to clarify. The first one is with regards to the $5 million being extended to the government of Ghana by the World Bank through the Economic Transformation Project. I think that money is for the short-term project. I'm talking about the fact that we need to start the venture, and therefore we will need some money. And so they decided to extend that facility so that we'll be able to start the service. And I guess you know, or we are all convinced that this service is going to create a lot of revenue for the country, in the sense that, you know, in the sub-region, it is going to be the only accreditation body that is going to serve the community. So we believe that we are not only going to benefit from service providers in Ghana or conformity assessment bodies in Ghana, but others in other jurisdictions may also take advantage of our services. And also with regards to the GSC issues, I think point 8, 1 and 2 will be able to answer those questions. So if you can refer to the report, it answers the questions clearly. I mean, specific roles have been given to all these agencies and the Ministry of Trade and Industry. And so Ghana Standards Authority is not going to have conflict with the Ghana National Accreditation Service at all. And about the 120 million US dollars, this numbers, the long-term numbers, as I said earlier on, I mean, it will interest you to note that during COVID, we got to realize that this service is going to benefit the country a great deal. Because the kind of numbers we're getting, albeit we didn't even have a legislation governing us, we're able to give service or provide service to the labs, big labs in the mining sector in this country. And so we believe that in the long term, we are going to generate a lot of revenue for the country. So I believe that it's a good number. With these few words, I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honourable members, at the conclusion of the debate, the question is all in favour of the motion, say aye. Aye. All against, say no. The ayes have it. The motion is carried.
An act to establish the Ghana Accreditation Service to provide for an efficient and effective accreditation system for the accreditation of conformity assessment bodies, to monitor conformity assessment activities and to provide for related matters.
Honourable members, the Ghana Accreditation Service Bill 2023 is accordingly read a second time. Yes, Honourable Leader.
Speaker, having regard to the time and also discussion by leadership, I want to move the House to adjourn to Tuesday, 10 o'clock, the forenoon. I so move.
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, Tuesday is a great day. We'll be coming with the Honorable Justice for the second time. So, that being the case, I second the motion for adjournment. I so do.
Honourable members, The motion for adjournment has been moved and seconded. All in favor of the House adjourning now, say aye. All against, say no. The ayes have it. The House is accordingly adjourned till Tuesday, the 27th of June at 10 o'clock in the forenoon.